So this is the prize for the Mustang Shootout. It is a 71 Mustang funny car. It is a treasure hunt. It's the Wild Pony, and I really like it. I had a lot of choices for Mustangs, and this is the one I went for. It has a blue stripe down the front of it, which I really quite like. Yeah, so I look forward to sending this out to the winning driver wherever they are in the world. Greetings Diecast Racing fans, Sharky here, and welcome back to Sharky's Garage here at Vulcan Raceway for this episode 6 redemption of the Mustang Shootout. And it's all on the line today. There are 2 spots left in next week's grand final. There are 8 cars competing today in 2 sets of 4. And yes, I have got a Mustang behind me, and yes, it is stunning. It's a really new purchase. It's the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. That matte blue and black, it's absolutely stunning. Interestingly enough, the Flying Fenman's got a new rig here at the site. You'll see that in a little while. Anyway, who is racing today? Well, in set 1 we have got the silver car. We've got Eleanor with the Commish at the wheel. That's car 3. Car 4, Patty Kakes in that 69 Boss 302, the red one. Then we've got her partner from Canada, the V-Man, in the blue 69. And finally finishing out set 1 is Greasy in car 9, the Track Patrol one. In set 2 we have got in car 10 Puff from Puff's Racing, the rookie here at Vulcan Raceway, in the 05 Spoiler Alert. We have got Hakari Rin in the red 2010 GT, that's car 12. We've got another rookie, Endcount, in the yellow, the Buzzing Hornets, which is a 2012. And finally we have in car 16 Matthew Harding in the black and red Mach-e 1400. We'll give you a quick track overview, we'll get the first 4 up to the line, and we'll get down to the racing. But before we do that, don't forget to do the usual things: like, comment and subscribe. And as I say, this thing is stunning. It's Kelden's daily driver, the winner of the last series. There's your set 1 and set 2. Safety teams are here. The 4 that are watching on that are already through to the grand final next week. And these guys, well, those were the 4 spare cars, but these are the 4 that are eliminated. The Vulcans are up there, and down there. Our thanks go out to our track sponsors, my brother Phil at Tomley RC, the team at the BERCC, Kelden Raven standing on his own there from Kelden Raven Customs, Cuboid at 4Cubed Racing stood there with the track owner, and John at Modelmatic. John stood there with the Flying Fenman, and John is, or Modelmatic is this episode's main sponsor. But you notice the Flying Fenman has a car and caravan, but it's a very specific one. It's a Volvo 240. Now, not a lot of people know this, but the Flying Fenman used to be a serving police officer, and his nickname, the Flying Fenman, was earned when he was an active traffic police officer from driving a Volvo 240 series patrol car. So that one doesn't look quite standard. We'll have to see whether we can persuade him to run it down the track and show us what it can do. Anyway, let's get this 4 up to the line and get down to the racing. Here we go, lined up at the line for race 1 of set 1. And on the front of the blue lane is the Commish in the silver Eleanor. On the front of the red lane is the red car with Patty Kakes at the wheel. On the rear of the red lane is the V-Man in the blue. And on the rear of the blue lane is Greasy in the white. 3, 2, 1. Red, silver, white, blue. Back up the line, ready for race 2. The white of Greasy is on the front of the blue. The silver of the Commish is on the front of the red. The red of Patty Cakes on the rear of the red. And the blue of the V-Man is on the rear of the blue. 3, 2, 1, race. White, silver, red, blue, but it was close between silver and red. The blue is on the front of the blue, the white is on the front of the red, the silver is on the rear of the red, and the red is on the rear of the blue. 3, 2, 1, race. Blue, red, white, silver. As we move into race 4 of set 1, any of them could snatch this. First on 10 points is Patty Cakes in the red on 10 points. Second on 9 points is Greasy in the white. Third jointly on 7 points are the Commish in the silver and the V-Man in the blue. How are they lined up? Patty Cakes in the red is on the front of the blue lane. The V-Man in the blue is on the front of the red lane. Greasy in the white is on the rear of the red lane, which leaves the Commish in the silver on the rear of the blue lane. 3, 2, 1, race. Blue, red, white, silver. As we set up for set 2, I'm sure we're going to hear down in the comments section from the Commish something about Canadians working together to make sure he didn't get through. So the end results from set 1. On 13 points, the red car, Patty Cakes. On 12 points, the V-Man in the blue car, which means they are the first two potentially through to the grand final next week. Greasy in the white on 11 points is not going to go through, and the Commish in the silver on 8 points is not going to go through. But these 4 up at the line could stop all of that happening. And who do we have? Well, on the front of the blue lane, we have the white and checkerboard of Puff from Puff's Racing. On the front of the red lane, we have got Hakari in the red car. On the rear of the red lane, we have the yellow car, the Buzzing Hornets with Endcount, the last of the rookies. And on the rear of the blue lane, the honourable man himself, Matthew Harding in the red and black. 3, 2, 1, race. White, red, yellow, red and black. The red and black of Matthew Harding is on the front of the blue. The checkerboard of Puff is on the front of the red. The red of Hakari is on the rear of the red. And the yellow of Endcount is on the rear of the blue. 3, 2, 1, race. And the only one to finish is the checkerboard. Matthew Harding pulled him up part way down. Moving into race 3, and Hakari, Endcount and Matthew Harding have got it all to do, because Puff's won the last 2 races, putting him on 10 points and very close to getting one of those 2 places in the grand final. How they lined up this time: the yellow of Endcount is on the front of the blue, the red and black of Matthew Harding is on the front of the red, the checkerboard and white of Puff is on the rear of the red, and Hakari in the pure red is on the rear of the blue lane. 3, 2, 1, race. Yellow, ooh, red or red and black, I'm not sure, and then the checkerboard was last. I'm going to have to look at the slow-mo to determine whether it was Matthew Harding or Hakari that got second. And it's mathematically a 2-horse race at this point. So in set 1, Patty Cakes got 13 points and the V-Man got 12, which means you need to get 13 points or more to be in with a chance to get through to the grand final in 2 weeks' time. As it stands at the minute, Puff in the checkerboard is on 11 points. Endcount in the yellow is on 7 points. Which means if Endcount in the yellow, and he starts on the front, gets a win, that's 5 points, would put him on 12, which would tie him up with the V-Man, so potentially a race off. But if Puff gets a point, that would also put him on 12, which would also tie him up. So we could have a three-way race off. But if Puff gets anything more than 1 point, he is going to be through to the grand final next week. And Endcount needs to win this to get through, or to get a chance to get through. We'll see how it goes. So as I say, Puff is on 11 in the checkerboard. Endcount in the yellow is on 7. Hakari in the red is on 6. And Matthew Harding in the red and black is on 3. On the front of the blue lane is Hakari Rin. On the front of the red lane is Endcount. Matthew Harding is on the rear of the red lane. And Puff from Puff's Racing is on the rear of the blue lane. 3, 2, 1, race. Red, white, or red checkerboard, yellow, red. That decides it. So, another great day's racing, and the end results are as follows. In set 2, in first place on 14 with 14 points is Puff in the checkerboard from Puff's Racing. In second place on 11 points was Hakari Rin from Raven Racing in the red. In third on 9 points is the rookie Endcount in the yellow Buzzing Hornets. And in fourth in set 2 was Matthew Harding in the red and black Mach-e. I think it perhaps ran out of battery. There might have been more charging issues. This is the problem with electric cars. They only perform their best when they're fully charged up. So over a series of races, they're going to lose out. Anyway, what does that mean overall? So top point scorer of the day, Puff on 14. Second point scorer, highest point scorer is Kakes on 13. Below that drops to 12, the V-Man in the blue you'll see behind in the rear rank. Then on 11 points is Greasy in the white track patrol and Hakari in the red. Dropping down from them to 9 points is Endcount in the yellow Buzzing Hornets. Just beyond that, you have got on just 8 points is the Commish in the silver Eleanor. And on just 4 points, Matthew Harding in that black and red. I'm going to get these moved round so you can see the lineup for next week's grand final. So here we go. The lineup is as follows. P1, the red of Kakes in car 4. P2 on the front of the red lane for race 1 will be Brandon of the Scale Racing Channel in the teal Mach 1. Behind him will be the purple of Princess Sparkles, and behind her is the white, or the matte white, of James Sterling. On the rear of the blue lane will be the checkerboard of Puff from Puff's Racing, the only rookie that's made it through to the final. And then in the middle, P2 on the blue lane, starting off, will be Kitsune in that black and flames. It's going to be a heck of a day's racing. We have 3 female drivers, 3 male drivers, and yes, it's going to be all go because these are Mustangs and we haven't had a fatality. Hey, what was that, 2D? Yes, Mustangs, no fatality. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you all again next week for the grand final.